academic excellence and earned the distinction of being named this year's Valedictorian. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's Valedictorian, OmarIlyas.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Costa, and you guys have been such a wonderful audience. I am proud to be in front of all of you. So, welcome, parents, friends, family, teachers, Mrs. Costa, Mrs. Backer, Mr. Sachansky, Mr. Garrido, Mayor Hokinson, and fellow graduates. About 4 years ago, I entered the front doors of Roselle Park High School as an unknowing freshman. And I say unknowing because I had no idea what to expect from this new adventure we call high school. It was nerve-wracking at first, but then I settled in. In fact, we all settled in. I felt as if we were simply going through the motions for the first month or two. Nothing could go wrong, and nothing could stop this great momentum that we had going. Nothing, including a hurricane. Yes, Hurricane Sandy. That'll definitely slow down your momentum. But we've endured this, and then the power came back on. We found out that we would be returning to school, but the high school still didn't have power. So where would we go? Back to the middle school. If I could borrow a line from Godfather 3, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. But things returned to normal, and it was back to the new experience of high school. As you all did, I found my way through this new experience. I began to enjoy many aspects of high school, and I soon realized that I became part of something great. It wasn't just high school. It was a place where I felt comfortable, like a home away from home. It was because of this nurturing environment that I'm able to stand before you today as this year's valedictorian. Being valedictorian is something I am very proud of. It shows that in the end, hard work pays off, and believe me, it was hard work. The teachers at Roselle Park High School pushed us hard, and for that, we should all be grateful. Making it up to this stage and earning the honor of valedictorian did not come without its struggles. Maintaining a certain GPA over a 4-year period was not easy, but luckily I had great classmates and teachers who never let me do anything but my absolute best. But I learned a very valuable lesson during my time here in high school. That lesson is that there will always be struggles and obstacles that we need to overcome. It is these struggles and obstacles that will determine the type of life we will lead. These difficulties will determine if we succeed or fail. Basically, they will either make us or break us. Christopher Reeve, who is most famous for playing the role of Superman, once said, "A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles." So let's talk about some real obstacles. Graduates all over America are giving speeches and referencing the most cliche and obvious examples of people that overcame obstacles. They'll talk about how in high school, Michael Jordan was told he wasn't good enough to play basketball. They'll talk about how Bill Gates' first business venture was a failure. And they'll talk about how Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. And they'll talk about how Jay-Z couldn't get signed to any record labels. Don't get me wrong, these are great examples of people that overcame obstacles, but honestly, we don't need to look very far to find people that inspire us because of adversity they faced and then conquered. Sitting right here in our graduating class, you will find students that overcame obstacles just to get to this point. There are students here today that had to get through many difficulties, including family issues, financial problems, working long hours, and illness. Students that had to deal with parents that had addiction problems, or maybe addiction problems of their own. There are students here today that have had to deal with learning disabilities. And there are students here today that came to this country only 4 or 5 years ago. I personally know some of these students, and they needed to work extremely hard just to overcome the language barrier. And guess what? They did not settle for mediocre grades. They strived for A's. So while it's great to admire those celebrities for their accomplishments, don't overlook the people that we see every day. So in response to Christopher Reeve's quote about how a hero is an ordinary individual that finds the strength to persevere, I want you to realize that the person sitting next to you tonight might be a hero. The graduate whose name is called tonight might be a hero, and you might be looking at a hero the next time you look in the mirror. People have been congratulating me quite often for achieving the honor of valedictorian, and yes, I am loving every minute of it. But at this time, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for overcoming your own obstacles and getting to this point in your life. Celebrities are glorified because of the media, so we all know about their stories. My message to you is that you should never overlook and minimize your own accomplishments. So we might talk about celebrities and admire their stories, but in my opinion, the Michael Jordans and Jay-Z's of the world should look up and admire some of you. But remember, this is only the beginning. You can do anything you want, as long as you never let your obstacles be bigger than your desire to achieve something great. I would like to acknowledge two of my own heroes that are here tonight. My mother came here from Trinidad when she was 21 years old, and my father came here from Pakistan when he was 14 years old. At a very young age, both of my parents were paying their own bills and living on their own. Both of them had to overcome many obstacles just to make a life for themselves, and they are one of the biggest reasons that I'm standing here, having been given this honor. My parents always told me to do my best and push myself every day. And then they told me that when I pushed myself and felt that I was doing my best, always try to do just a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and more and more and more. And they essentially taught me to use my full potential a little bit at a time. Thank you so much, Mom and Dad. I couldn't have done this without your inspiration and motivation. I would also like to thank my siblings and let you all know how happy I am that you're such a big part of my life. Junaid, Layla, Sarah, and Cameron, you are the best brothers and sisters anybody could ask for. I would like to thank the teachers at RPHS for making this the best 4 years of my life. RPHS teachers not only care about our academic achievements, but also about us as people. The lessons I learned carry way beyond the classroom. I would especially like to thank Mr. Banks. He is more than just a teacher, and his class is more than just a class. So in closing, I want you to all remember to have a plan. And if you have no plan, then make a plan to have a plan. Use this plan to know where you're going. Use this plan to know what your goals are. Use this plan to map out your life. And use this plan to guide you towards every single thing that you want. But remember, as you use this plan on your way to success, glitches and obstacles will appear, sometimes out of nowhere. At that point, you will have a choice. You can let that obstacle stop you in your tracks, or you can work and persevere despite it. Roselle Park High School seniors, I know that you can overcome any obstacle that you will ever be faced with. Seniors, do something great with your life and don't ever let your struggles keep you from your goals. Congratulations, class of 2016!